In this video, I'll demonstrate how to use a resin joint kit to make a waterproof cable joint on submersible cable. This is a resin joint kit for cables between 1.5 and 4 millimeters, but you can joint smaller size cables such as 0.75 or 1 millimeter lead-out cables. This joint kit can handle up to 1.1 kV or 1,100 volts. The joint kit comes with 6 strips of self-amalgamating tape for insulating the wire joints, a joint shell or resin mold complete with lid, and a bag of resin compound double sealed with a foil outer packaging bag. The resin joint kit does not come with gloves or insulation tape. Also important to note is that no ferrules are supplied with a heat shrink joint kit. Here I have a 1.5 millimeter submersible cable, and I've taped on an external earth cable to the length that I'll be using. I'll join this to the 0.75 millimeters lead-out cable from a 0.55 kilowatt submersible borehole motor. This is a 4-core lead-out with separate earth marked PE. If your cable doesn't have the PE marking, the earth wire is the green and yellow wire. The black wire from the lead-out is marked C for common. This is the wire that goes to both the main winding and the auxiliary winding of the motor. The blue wire is marked M. For main, this is the wire that goes to the main winding of the motor. The brown wire is marked A. For auxiliary, this is the wire that goes to the auxiliary winding of the motor. Once the joint has been done, you won't be able to see which wire is joined to the C, M, and A. So it's very important to either take a photo showing the joined wires or making a note on some paper. I've made a note on this page of the 3 wires coming from the motor. Black is C or common, blue is M or main, and brown is A or auxiliary. I'll join the yellow wire form to the black wire of the lead-out cable. So I'll go ahead and write in yellow. I'll keep the blue wire with the blue wire, so I will write in blue on the control box side. Finally, I'll join the red wire to the brown wire, so I'll write in red below the brown. Now we can clearly see the yellow wire will be the common or C wire, the blue wire will be the main or M wire, and the red wire will be the auxiliary or A wire. I'll go ahead and remove the labels from the lead-out cable. On the lead-out cable, I'll measure back 35 millimeters and mark to remove the outer insulation. Again, I'll make a mark at 95 millimeters to show the position of the resin mold. Now I'll mark 75 millimeters on the submersible cable to show how far back to remove the outer insulation. I'll make a second mark at 105 millimeters to show the positioning of the resin mold. Let's remove the outer insulation from the submersible cable. Now I'll seal the end of the submersible cable and separate the wires with self-amalgamating tape. I'll do the same for the lead-out cable. The length of the ferrule I'll be using is 14 millimeters. So to determine how much of each wire should be cleaned to make a good joint, I'll divide the length of the ferrule by 2, which gives me 7 millimeters, and then add 5 millimeters. This means I should clean back 12 millimeters from each wire. Now I'll go ahead and clean the ends with a wire stripper. I'll go ahead and fit and crimp the ferrules. I'll start with the earth wire and feed both ends until they overlap inside the ferrule. And then I'll go ahead and crimp both sides of the ferrule. Now I'll insulate the ferrule joint with self-amalgamating tape. Next, I'll put the ferrule on the common wires. I'll join the yellow submersible wire to the black common wires of the lead-out cable. Then I'll crimp both sides of the ferrule. Now I'll insulate the ferrule joint with self-amalgamating tape. I'll do the same for the main wire. I'll do the same for the auxiliary wire. Before applying the resin mold and casting the resin, I will abrade the outer insulation of the cables to the outer marks we made earlier. And then I'll cut back 2 steps off either end of the resin mold with a hacksaw. I'll clip the resin mold together over the cables. Using the marks we made earlier on our insulation of the 2 cables, make sure the mold is firmly clipped together. I'll tape up both sides of the mold with insulation tape to make a good seal around the cables coming out of the joint. This will ensure the resin does not leak out of the mold. Make sure the lid of the mold is nearby. Now I'll remove the outer packaging from the resin compound bag. To keep things neat and to protect my hands and workspace, I will lay down some scrap paper and put on latex gloves. I'll open the seal in the center of the compound bag to allow the resin compound and hardener to mix and activate. Then I will thoroughly mix the resin compound. I'll cut open the corner of the resin bag. And go ahead and slowly pour the resin into the mold, tapping the mold from time to time to release any trapped air. To finish, I'll put the lid firmly onto the mold. Allow the casing to dry for 1 to 2 hours, depending on the weather. Make sure the resin is completely dry before applying any mechanical strain to the joint.